a start to a new week, so that calls for a new what's for dinner. I'm super excited about this one. I tried some new creative meals. These meals are also all toddler approved. My 19-month-old daughter, Brinley, she even enjoyed them. But anyways, I hope your week went well this past week, and let's head to my kitchen and let's start cooking. We're gonna get kicked off today by making this amazing veggie-packed chicken stir-fry. To begin, I'm just going to chop up my 1 red bell pepper, 3 medium carrots, and 2 smaller heads of broccoli. I'm going to set the veggies to the side. Now into my large pot, I have a couple tablespoons of some hot olive oil in there. I added my 1 chicken breast that I cubed, and I'm just seasoning it with salt and pepper. You're just going to cook this chicken completely through. While I do have our chicken cooking up, I'm going to begin on the stir-fry sauce. So in this smaller bowl, I have 2 tablespoons of water and a tablespoon of cornstarch. I whisked that together. Now I'm adding in our 1/4 cup of some chicken broth, 3 tablespoons of low sodium soy sauce. After that, you'll add in your 1/4 cup of honey and about a 1/2 teaspoon of some crushed red pepper flakes. Of course, add more crushed red pepper in if you want it a little bit spicy. Whisk this mixture up and then set it to the side. Now that my chicken has reached the internal temperature of 165 degrees, it is completely cooked through, so I'm just removing it to a separate plate. Now into my same large pot, I'm adding all of the veggies that we chopped up in. You're also going to want to add your tablespoon of minced garlic and about 1/2 tablespoon of some minced ginger. Stir everything to combine and let these veggies soften for about 4 to 5 minutes. The stir-fry recipe truly cannot get any easier than this. Now that my veggies are at the tenderness that I like them to be, I added back in our cooked chicken along with the stir-fry sauce. I'm going to stir everything to combine and let the sauce thicken up. Once it is thicker like this, it is ready to serve. I served my chicken stir-fry over a bed of some white rice and sprinkled some sesame seeds on top. Like I just said, this stir-fry recipe is so easy to throw together, and it has some amazing rich flavor. Now we're making spaghetti and meatballs. This meatball recipe is hands down my all-time favorite meatball recipe ever. I definitely suggest you trying it. So to begin, in my large bowl, I have a pound of some ground beef. To the ground beef, I added 1 diced up white onion. I made sure I diced the onion up very finely. It'll turn out better like that in the end. I also added a tablespoon of some minced garlic, a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese, and ricotta. The ricotta cheese might sound weird adding it in, but it adds great flavor and texture. I also added in a 1/2 cup of some breadcrumbs and a few tablespoons of fresh parsley and a little bit of some salt and pepper. If you don't have fresh parsley on hand, you could definitely skip that step. Lastly, I added in about 3 tablespoons of some milk. Just stir all of this together. I'm rolling my meatballs out into about golf ball sizes. That's the size my family likes. And then I'm placing them on my wire rack on my cooking tray. If you don't have a wire rack like this, you could just directly put them on your cooking tray. This will bake on 425 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes. While I do have our meatballs in the oven baking, I'm just going to boil up our spaghetti noodles. I'm using a little under a pound of those. And then for the marinara sauce, of course, you could definitely make your own marinara sauce. I've done that many times before, but I was just feeling like using a jar of Prego on that night. Here's the finished product. I just topped my spaghetti and meatballs with some Parmesan cheese. These meatballs have the best rich flavor. They are just amazing, and I just can't even describe how delicious these meatballs are. Every time we have a family gathering, my family always asks me to make them. I don't know who's with me, but I think I could eat a good chicken Caesar salad any day of the week. I really love chicken Caesar salads. But to get started, I'm going to work on the homemade Caesar dressing first. I'm just shredding about 1/3 cup of some fresh Parmesan cheese, or you could use already pre-shredded Parmesan cheese, whatever your preference is. To make it really easy, I'm just adding all of the dressing ingredients into my Ninja blender, or you could whisk this all together with a whisk, whatever your preference is. So in my cup right here for my blender, I added a half a cup of some mayonnaise. Next, you're going to want to add a half of a juice of 1 lemon, a couple teaspoons of some minced garlic, a teaspoon of some red wine vinegar, a teaspoon of some Worcestershire sauce, a little dash of some black pepper, and about half a teaspoon of either Dijon mustard or some regular yellow mustard. After I blended that mixture all together, I added in 1/4 cup of some of that shredded Parmesan cheese. I'm just going to blend this together one last time and then stick this in the refrigerator. Your dressing is done. For the chicken, I have a couple tablespoons of some olive oil in my pan. I'm just adding 1 chicken breast that I sliced in half horizontally so it appears as 2. I'm just seasoning the chicken with some really simple seasonings, just salt, pepper, garlic powder, paprika, and some onion powder. And you're just going to want to cook this chicken completely through. The greens that I'm using today for our salad is just a mixture between some romaine and baby spinach. That's my favorite mixture for some Caesar salad. Now I'm just dumping the dressing that we made on top, and you're just going to combine the dressing and the lettuce together. This is one of the reasons why I love making salads for my family, is because you could kind of dump whatever toppings you like or whatever you have on hand on top. For example, what I added today is about a cup of some sliced cherry tomatoes, of course, some of the cooked chicken, a few slices of lemon, 4 pieces of cooked bacon that I crumbled, and some more Parmesan cheese. This salad is so good. Hands down, my all-time favorite Caesar salad dressing. It's just really simple to throw together, and then this meal actually reminds me of summer. This chicken bacon ranch casserole is such a nice, warm and cozy meal. To get it started, I have my pan right here. I have a tablespoon of some hot olive oil in it. I just added my 1 chicken breast that I sliced in half. You're going to season it with salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and some paprika. Just cook this chicken breast through. Over to my pot of some boiling water, I'm just going to add my 4 cups of some medium pasta shells in. After my chicken is finished cooking, I'm just removing it to a separate plate and setting the plate to the side. We're going to make room for our bacon. I'm going to now add our 5 strips of bacon to the same pan that we cooked the chicken in, and just go ahead and cook this bacon up. Now that my bacon's finished cooking, I'm just removing it onto a separate plate lined with some paper towel. You are going to save about 3 tablespoons of the bacon grease in your pan, and then add 1/3 cup of some flour in. Just whisk the flour around until it becomes nice and golden brown. Now, while whisking, slowly add your 3½ cups of milk in. You do want to add it in slowly, just to make sure you don't have any clumps of flour in the end. After adding all of the milk in, I let this simmer on my stove for about 5 minutes just to thicken. Now that it is starting to get thicker, I'm adding 1 packet of ranch dressing mix in. I'm giving this a really good whisk, and then you're going to want to add 1 cup of some shredded sharp cheddar cheese in. Let the cheese melt down, whisk it all to combine, and then your sauce is done. To assemble our casserole, I have our drained pasta noodles right here. I'm just adding the sauce that we made up in. Next, you're going to want to add some of the bacon that we cooked up. I just crumbled it after. I'm not adding all of the bacon in just because I'm saving a little bit for the very end. I'm just going to top it with it. Next, I added all of the chicken that we cooked up, and I'm going to give this a really good stir. In my large round casserole dish, I just added the noodle mixture in, and then on top of that, you're going to want to add about 1.5 cups of some cheese. I chose to use sharp cheddar cheese, and then the remainder of the bacon. And then I just chopped up about 3 tablespoons of fresh parsley and put it on top. Of course, the parsley is optional. This is going to bake in a preheated oven to 350 for about 10 to 15 minutes. Here's the finished product. This is my all-time favorite bacon chicken ranch casserole. If you're looking for a recipe like this, I 100% recommend this one. I just sprinkled mine with a little bit of some salt and pepper on top. One of my husband's all-time favorite foods is green chili chicken enchiladas, so now that's what we're making. In this little sauce pot, I'm pouring 19 ounces of green chili enchilada sauce in. I'm going to let that boil up on my stove. Now in this large bowl, I'm adding 2 cups of shredded chicken. I boiled up my chicken in the Instant Pot and then shredded it from there, or you could use a rotisserie style chicken or canned chicken, whatever you like. Next, I added 3/4 cup of some sour cream in one of these little cans of green chilies with a little bit of some salt and pepper. You're just going to stir these ingredients to combine. Assembling these enchiladas really couldn't get any easier than this. I'm just spraying my baking dish with some nonstick spray, and then to prevent the corn tortillas from cracking, I'm just dipping them in that hot enchilada sauce for about 3 to 5 seconds, and then adding some of the chicken mixture in the center of the corn tortilla and then rolling them up. At the very end, you're just going to pour the remainder of the enchilada sauce on the top and then add your cheese. I'm using about 2 cups of some Colby Jack cheese. You could really use any type of cheese you like on top. This will bake in a preheated oven to 350 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes. Here's my plate of food. My little daughter, Brinley, thought she was super hungry on that night, so she was pulling on my shirt, telling me she was ready to eat. I just served my enchiladas with some black beans, pico de gallo, and guacamole. These enchiladas have a nice creamy inside, and that green chili enchilada sauce and the green chilies give it great flavor. And that is a wrap of this video today. I really hope you enjoyed it and got some meal inspiration. It's starting to warm up slowly here in Utah, so I'm super excited about that. I love the warm weather, but I hope you guys are all doing well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.